Hey guys, what's up? This is the part 4, final chapter of the 22 world indices, 17 countries, stock market exchange analysis for the week ending October 16, 2020. So in this video, we will have the Singapore stock exchange, the STI, UK's FTSE 100, and the US Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ, and S&P 500. Before anything else, please do subscribe to this channel and ring the notification bell for all future content, so that when you come up with new videos about stock market, Bitcoin trading, life hacks, and all that, you will be immediately notified. So without further ado, let's proceed. This is the STI. It closed to 2,533.02, up just a tiny bit, 0.06 points. So it's fairly even. Last week, you will notice that the 200-day average here is above the 75-day. It's above the price. The price is still above the 50-day average. So we are looking at some weakness in the STI. Looking at the RSI, it's still neutral at 53. MACD is still bullish, but we are still in a negative region now. We have the MACD above the signal line. The MACD above the signal line, 9.24 to 4.07. Yeah. So we're still looking at just the short-term bullishness, considering the MACD's crossover last September 30. Now over at ADX, we have the buyers outnumbering the sellers. Very tight, 20 to 19. ADX trend line is at 15, so it's still too close to call. It's ranging at the moment, and we're still waiting for further signals in order to determine the trend of the market here at Singapore. So moving to FTSE 100, which is the index of England, we have FTSE 100 closing in at 5,919.58. It is it is down 97.07 points last week. That's 1.61% down. And we have the 200-day moving average above the 75, above the 50, with the price just hovering tiny bit above the 50-day average. So this is really a bearish market, and we have the RSI at 48. MACD, although it's still negative, the MACD is above the signal line. Crossover happening last Friday. Still at ADX, we see the sellers outnumbering the buyers 28 to 16, but the trend line is quite weak at 11.79. Again, as in the case of Singapore, this is still a bearish market in the long term, and we are arranging at the moment. So we see that the investors are still staying in the sidelines, waiting for news. Now for the three indices in the US, we have the Dow Jones Industrial Average. The Dow Jones Industrial Average closed at 28,606.31, which is about 19.41 points week on week. It is up 0.07%. Yes, the RSI is at 58. Still neutral. And the MACD, we have the MACD above the signal line, crossover happening, the bullish crossover happening the beginning of October. We have the buyers outnumbering the sellers 26 to 18, and the trend line is still weak at the moment at 16. So we are still ranging at the moment. We see the brief touching of the upper band of the Bollinger, and it's not correcting. So the forecast for next week for Dow Jones is a correction. However deep the correction, we don't know. And we saw two red candles followed by two green candles. So we are still seeing some strength in the market after the brief 2-day correction. Let's see what happens next week. Yeah, RSI is at 59. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, let's go over to NASDAQ. NASDAQ Composite we have 11,671.56. It is up 91 points or 0.79% week on week, although the candle last Friday was red, so it's a bearish candle last Friday. Let's look at it from the 3-month view. Yes, after the breakout, the uptrend from the last week of September, we saw that the upper band of the Bollinger was breached by this candle over here, October 13, and after that is another red candle. But then there's some resilience last October 15, and it even opened up, although it closed lower. So this can be a signal of weakness in the short term. RSI is at 59, so that's still neutral. We have the MACD above the signal line, 179 to 121, and the buyers still outnumbering the sellers 30 to 21, or 31 to 21. We have the ADX signal line. The signal line, the trend line is at 17.66, so it's still weak at the moment, but almost looking at the trend. So we are still ranging at the moment, but the trend is starting to strengthen. Yeah. So what will happen to Dow Jones and NASDAQ next week? I think for NASDAQ, what will happen is that since it briefly touched the upper band of the Bollinger, it will start to correct. It is not correcting. So I think what will happen to Monday's trade is it will go down. So it will turn in as a red candle, a bearish candle, and it will correct. How deep the correction is, we don't know yet, depending on Monday. We can see that there are plenty of red volume days, right, for NASDAQ. So we forecast a continuous correction for NASDAQ. Lastly, we have the S&P 500. S&P 500 closed in at 3,483.81. It is up 6.68 or 0.19% week on week. Yeah. So what happened to S&P 500? As in the case of NASDAQ and Dow Jones, we saw the price breaching the upper band of the Bollinger last October 13. Then afterwards, it went down. Last October 15, it attempted to rebound up, but then last Friday was also a red candle. So yeah, we can see that there's a bit of a correction here in the S&P 500. So it will continue to correct. We have the price above the 50-day, above the 75-day, above the 200-day. So this is a bullish market here, but it's trying to correct. So yeah, we notice here that the market is correcting. So we also see that the RSI is at 59, so that means it's still neutral. It has a lot of room to correct. MACD, after the September 30 crossover, it's still bullish. MACD above the signal line, 36 to 23, and over at ADX we have the buyers outnumbering the sellers 32 to 21, with the signal line, the trend line, at 18. So 18 is not yet a strong trend, so up until now we are still in a ranging position. So we can see that this is a very healthy correction for S&P 500. So the forecast will be continued correction the beginning of next week, and then however resilient the market is, if it proves to be resilient, then it will continue in its march up, and the trend line will still turn positive over the long term. As you can see, the trend line of the S&P 500 is really bullish as of this time. So that's it. No upcoming market turn as of the moment, I think. So let's just hope for the best, not only for the US markets, the UK, and our very own, the Philippines. Let's hope that the world really gets back on its feet after the pandemic subsides. So I'll see you next time, and goodbye. Thank you for listening.